Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and man, I hope everybody's having a good day and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel. Guys, today I'm going to show you in detail how to side rig a plastic worm. Side rig, Texas rig a plastic worm, which is the only way you need to be rigging your plastic worms. I'll explain why in a little bit. We've done some videos on this in the past alluding to it, but I really want to dig into this and show you exactly, I mean down to the final detail about how to do this, because it is a pretty intricate way to rig a plastic worm versus the way most people do it. But once you learn it, it's pretty easy. So we'll get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, before we get started, I want to show you what is the best plastic worm hook. If you guys are wanting to buy some or replace them out, guys, this is the Gamakatsu G Finesse worm hook designed by my buddy Aaron Martins. Nano coated O'Shaughnessy bend hook on it. Guys, this is just absolutely the best plastic worm hook you can have. So I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description to the Gamakatsu G Finesse hooks if you guys want to pick some up there. Okay, now what we're going to talk about here, guys, like I said, I've done some stuff on this in the past, but I want to give a refresher because we are getting right in the middle of prime Texas rig season over the next 3 months. Time of filming this video, like I said, we're in the middle of May here, so this is something you definitely want to add to your arsenal. So let me, right off the bat, I'm going to show you how most people rig their plastic worms. Now, this is what you want to get rid of, guys. We've talked about it before. This is the offset hook. You do not want to use this on a plastic worm. This hook has applications, like for a fluke or, you know, sometimes certain type of soft plastics that have to ride at a certain angle, because the advantage of the EWG hook is the keel on it right here allows a bait to fall straight. And there's some baits out there that, you know, you do want to fall straight, and so and other baits like a tube that you have to rig with this hook. So this does have applications, but it does not have applications for traditional plastic worm. Now let me show you guys why it is here. Most people with a traditional plastic worm, this is how they rig it, the EWG hook. They just go in like this and they call it good. They think that's the way to rig it. Now, I'm not saying you can't catch fish on it. This is probably the most popular way, but it's the most least effective way. First of all, the EWG hook is a poor design for a worm hook, simply because you've got too much plastic in the way of the hook here to impede the hook set. Now, another reason people like this setup is it's user friendly. You put it in there, it locks it in place, the worm doesn't slide up and down, and it's an easy rig to use. That's why a lot of people use it. But the problem you have is there's two different ways to rig this, and a lot of people lose fish because of it. Now, some people will just take and they'll just put the hook right back in the middle, and then a lot of people will run it all the way through, and they come out the top like that, and they bury it back in. But regardless, if you look at this, what you have is you've got a large percentage of the worm in the bend of the hook here. And when that fish bites this thing, a lot of times they ball it up like that in their mouth. And you've got all this plastic that is impeding the bend of the hook here to keep you from actually hooking the fish. And then another time, guys, how many times have you come back and you've seen your worm like hooked like that? You've had a fish on, you've lost it, and then it comes back all gobbed up like that and you lose the fish. So this is the way I want to show you not to use it. Okay, the way that you want to use this is go with the Gamakatsu straight shank. This is the G Finesse heavy cover worm hook. This is the one you need to get at Tackle Warehouse at that link in the description. And you're going to side hook this thing that we've talked about before, but I want to show you specifically how to do it. Now, the first thing to remember is you want to make sure that you come through the head of the worm with plenty of space. A lot of people come through there with like 1/8 of an inch, and what happens if you don't come through far enough, this is what happens. You'll put it up in there and your knot will come out of the top of the worm. You can see it there, but your knot will come out of the top of the worm. Now, there's a couple different problems with that. It's not only the visual, but the line tag ends right here will make your slip sinker sit crooked a lot of times based upon where those tags are at. So what you want to do is when you rig this straight shank, you want to come through at least 1/4 of an inch. Another thing I'll give you a little tip on a ribbon tail, guys, before I get started on this, is if you look at a ribbon tail worm, there's a seam in the worm, and you want to go down that seam. In other words, See that concave part of it there? You want that pointed down. That gives you a lot better action. Don't just haphazardly hook it anywhere. Put it along that seam, and you want to run it through. See, I've got probably 1/4 of an inch there. Now the point of this is once you do this, it gives you plenty room to hide everything. And see, it's just completely flush against there. So your Texas rig head's gonna set down there just perfect like that. Okay, the next thing you're gonna do, and this is something that takes a little practice, is you wanna scrunch up the worm a little bit, just like that, and you're gonna come and you're gonna barely hook it just in the side, enough to just get the barb back in there. And see, I've got the worm hooked just in the side of the worm. You can see it like, I can probably see it from a better angle like that. It's in there tight, it's barely in there, sitting right on the side of the worm. The hook point's buried, the hook barb is buried, 100% weedless, completely weedless. But the good thing about this is when this fish comes up and bites it now, balls it up in their mouth, when you set the hook, this breaks away from here super easy. And you've got nothing but hook to hook the fish. You don't have any plastic on the bend there like you do with the EWG. Pops completely free there. And once you get used to it, guys, it's really easy to do it. I mean, it's just, you just have to adjust it once in a while. And one of the reasons people don't do it is occasionally, since you got a straight shank hook there, it'll waller out a little bit and you have to reset it or put a new worm on there. But I've experimented this with a long time. It's like I was resistant for years and years and years to go to a straight shank on a worm hook. I saw and I heard a lot of the top guys that were using them, like Larry Nixon, Tommy Biffle, but it was so easy with an EWG, I never got away from it. And I just accepted the fact that once in a while the worm's gonna ball up on the hook and I'm gonna lose some fish. But guys, once I started going with a Texas rig, straight shank, Gamakatsu G finesse worm hook, my hook to land percentages went through the roof. It's like now if I get 100 bites on a plastic worm, with it offset, with the straight shank on there, I'm gonna land 98% of those fish. And before it was something like 85 or 90. So especially if you're pitching and flipping, but don't have any concerns about throwing this in heavy cover. I flip it in heavy cover just like this. It works really good. So anyway, guys, I think if you go to that technique, you're really going to be happy with the results. Again, just pick you up a couple bags of those G Finesse there at that Tackle Warehouse link. You guys won't be sorry about it, and you like it. So talk later.